Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to another American Truck Simulator video. Hope you guys are all having a wonderful day. I'm recording this on Christmas Eve, so Merry Christmas to everybody. If you're, hopefully you guys are all enjoying it, celebrate it with your family, stay safe. And even if you're not celebrating it with your family, just stay safe out there and have a good holiday as well. So what we're gonna do here, and I'm pretty sure we have to get gas. Yeah, we're a little under half a tank, so we need to get over to the gas station, which looks like it's right there. It's just on the road, other side of the interstate that we were on before, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue. So we're gonna drive over there really quick and get filled up. All right, so we are at the gas station getting filled up. Let's see. How do you tell if it's when it's full or not? And looking right there, looks like we are full. All right, perfect. So let's go look at what jobs we got. So freight market. Somebody on my comments in the last video said that one that one I was looking at in the last video, that was a 1 hour and a half job. We're not gonna do that. What I actually, I kind of liked this one. Rough terrain. That one's pretty cool too. I'm not super interested in taking a very long drive. Oh my god. All right, we're gonna take one of the perfect. All right, we got it set up. Let's get over there, get our parking brake turned off, and we'll be back when we get there. All right, so we are here. We got our job. Let's come out into here. Looks like that's gonna be, honestly, I think we're just gonna swing it around right here or just back up the whole way. Let's swing out right here. This should be pretty simple. Assuming we don't hit this pylon and we can back this up, right? We'll hug this pylon because we can't see the other side. I think we got this. We'll straighten out a little bit here. A little bit of curb action there. Shouldn't be too much of an issue. We're gonna come back down off that curb right here. There we go. All right, we didn't hit anything. That's all that matters. All right, so we are all hooked up. Got our truck together. Now we gotta pull out of here. I believe this is a double jointed trailer. I don't know what that's called. Please forgive me. But what I do know, because of my amazing training and experience, is that we got to take these turns a little bit wider than we normally would. Let's get turned out here and get out on the road. So one of the things I've been asked, usually on stream, is a lot of people, and I get it because I was the same way. A lot of people seem very interested in the process for becoming a police officer, and you know, so full disclaimer, it's different everywhere you go, different every city, every state, every county. Every place has their own regulations, their own rules, their own policies. So you really gotta know what you want. What I mean by that, some of the questions that you want to ask if you're looking at an agency, everybody knows about the, you know, how much do they pay, right? Some questions I personally asked when I was coming through was, what's your off-duty rate? You know, because if you have two agencies, they both pay the same, both have similar lifestyle benefits to them. You know, good agencies, good command, everybody gets it, well, for the most part. Everybody gets along. But one has a 60 base pay off duty and one has a 40 base pay off duty. That's a significant difference, right? And you know, that can be countered by certain things, like one has a take-home car policy, one doesn't. you really gotta know what you want, and you gotta know what you're asking for too. But more importantly, what I've been asked is, what do I need to do to get ready for the academy? And I've seen a couple of videos on this. Some of them are very informative. Some of them kind of miss the point that I think a lot of people want to know. First things first, education-wise, most agencies only require that you get an associate's degree. A lot of agencies only require a high school diploma. You are going to have, at least in Florida, you are going to need to have at least 20 hours of college credit experience. Some places it's 20, some places it's 30. It all depends. In Florida, the police academies are run by the college. So you're gonna have to at least have a GED in order to even get into the academy, because you have to be accepted at the college. And then what a lot of people also don't know is that those academy classes are actually college level courses, so they count. You can use them towards an associate's degree, whether it be in criminal justice, criminology. Those classes count. So you can, by the time you get out of the academy, and again, this is specifically speaking for Florida. This would be a 3-hour long video if I tried to do all 50 states, but this should give you kind of a baseline. If you use those credits after you complete the academy towards a degree, you would be able to get out with an associate's degree in criminal justice, probably in a little under 1 to 2 years worth of work. And that's saying you're taking 2 to 3 courses a semester, which is not overly hard, especially now that you can do them online. If online's not your thing, then so be it. But these are just all things to think about. Just know kind of where your options are, but that's usually not too much what people are worried about. What that I've gotten the most questions about is the physical aspect of it. So you don't need to be strong to join the academy. What I did most of the academy, or the most in the academy, I should say, is running and push-ups. If you can run and you can do push-ups, you will pass the academy. You don't need to be able to throw a 20-pound dumbbell 100 yards. You don't need to be that strong, right? As long as you can run, work on your cardiovascular strength. Sit-ups are really important, so your core, and then just push-ups, which is more your chest and arms. But again, strength is not overly important in the academy. Now, some academies, some agencies do have swimming tests and things like that, depending on what agency. Like in Florida, if you're a beachside agency, usually you have some type of swimming exam that you have to be able to pass. That's all case by case. Generally speaking, you don't need to work or do strength training. You don't need to be getting the buys and tries and working out, all that stuff. The other thing, and I learned this while I was in the academy, is you really have to set time aside to do the academy. What I mean by that is, a lot of people, I had at least 2 people in my class, and I've heard of many others that have done this. They try to do the academy and other things. So they do the academy and then leave the academy and go do 8 hours at Chipotle or Walmart or Publix or something like that. And I get it if your financial situation doesn't let you do that, but I saw it destroy people. I saw people come out of a 2-hour long PT session, take a shower and go to work, and then the next day they come in and they can barely focus. And you know, that affects your testing, that affects your ability to comprehend a lot of the things that are going through. But let's say you get yourself into the academy, you're there day one. Pay attention to everything you're told. But what I'll say is, as well, 90% of the things you learned in the academy, your agency on day one is going to sit you down at the orientation and tell you, forget everything you learned in the academy. None of it matters. This is how we want you to do it. And that's okay. That's every agency. That's just how it works. So just know, you know, you're going to get out of the academy, you're going to get to your agency, and they're and they're going to tell you, hey, your last 6 months means absolutely nothing. This is how you do it. Everything they told you was wrong. And then you're going to get to an FTO, and that FTO, I'm an FTO, so I can tell you this is true, and your FTO is going to tell you everything they told you is absolutely wrong. This is how you do it. And then the next FTO is going to tell you everything that FTO told you is fully wrong. This is how you're supposed to do it. You got to just take what everybody says from the academy through the orientation, all the way through the FTO process, all the way until you're solo. And when you are a solo police officer, trooper, agent, deputy, what's the other one? Constable. You know, no matter what your position is, just take what they all say, soak it all up. You know, there's multiple ways to skin an animal, right? So when you get solo, you're going to learn your way that works based off the culmination of all the things that you learned from the academy all the way through FTO. That doesn't mean that the academy is useless. They're going to teach you the basics, the bare bones basics of what you need to know. The case law, the things that will keep you out of trouble. But the agency is also going to do their own thing, their own policies, their own, and that's the thing, is these academies, what you have to understand is these academies are designed to be very generic, very basic. In Florida, it's literally called the Basic Law Enforcement Academy. They're designed to be basic because all these agencies, they have different policies, different, even down to like different uses of force. You know, there's certain things that you can do. I mean, a neighboring agency to me can tase you just for running from them. Some agencies require use of violence or felony. That's that agency's policy, and when you work for that agency, you got to respect it. That's the other thing, and that's the other importance of knowing where you're going. You know, if you're one of those really ego-driven dudes that doesn't want to let a car get away from you, and you know, when you turn on your lights and it flees, if you work for some small podunk agency that doesn't have an insurance policy that is going to allow them to chase a vehicle, you're waving at that car as it drives away. You know, if you want to send the car into oblivion when it runs from you, you're probably going to want to look at your sheriffs or state agencies, because these local agencies, a lot of local agencies won't do that. So you gotta know the policy. Speak to somebody, not speak to a recruiter, yes, but what you have to understand is these recruiters are there to make you want to join their car salesman. Speak to an officer, speak to a deputy, speak to a constable, speak to a trooper that actually works at the agency, and ask them, hey, what is it like? Don't be afraid to talk to somebody, because you're going to dedicate 2 to 3 years of your life contractually to this agency once you sign that paper. So every agency is going to sell you the grass is green story. The recruiter. Find an agency that works for you. I'm so serious, because if you get out of the academy and you get to an agency and you sign that 3-year agreement because you got the grass is green sales pitch and you hate it, all of it was for nothing. You know, and you're gonna burn yourself out. You're gonna hate your job. And then what was the point, right? What was the point of all that work you put in, right? So just know, some agencies pay every 2 weeks, some agencies pay once a month. Some agencies have an 84-hour pay scale schedule built in, and some agencies have an 80-hour pay scale with the 4 hours being overtime. Some agencies work 8 hours, some agencies work 10, some work 12. Know what you're getting, know what you want. Know where you live in relation to the agency. Because agencies may have a 50-mile as the crow flies take-home car policy from the headquarters. So if you live 51 miles away from the headquarters as the crow flies, that means, if you hear a recruiter say that, that means straight line on a map. On the map, you put a dot on the headquarters and draw a straight line to your house. That's as the crow flies. Are you within 50 miles? It's a radius, a circle. And if you're outside of that and you don't want to be driving 51 miles, or we'll say 5 miles to your local fire department, because that's as far as the agency will let you drive it. That's what a lot of agencies do, by the way. They'll let you drive it to a local fire department or police station in the area that you live. If that doesn't apply to you, then, you know, maybe that's not an agency you want. Maybe you don't want to put that wear and tear on your car. My point being, I can beat a dead horse on this. Know what you want in the agency. Don't just blindly say, oh, I'm gonna go X or Y. Make important choices for yourself. I've told this to my trainees. I've told this to people that have asked me on the streets. If you are not happy where you are, you're not going to produce results that's going to make you into the best possible officer, deputy, trooper, constable, agent, whatever it is. You're not going to produce results or come to work motivated enough to turn yourself into what would be considered a good officer, deputy, trooper, constable. So put the most into it, know what you want. Now, backing up, some of the things you're going to learn in the academy, if you're wanting to study and be prepared for it. Legal, know your case law. If you don't know what Graham v. Connor is, look it up, learn it. If you don't know what Pennsylvania versus Mims is, look it up, learn it. Those kind of basic fundamental case laws are going to be the things that are the foundation of your work. Graham versus Connor is a use of force. Pennsylvania versus Mims is a traffic stop operations. So know where you're at. If you pull somebody over for going 70 and a 50, you walk up to the car and you see a gun in the back seat and you tell them to get out and they say no, know whether you have the right to say, hey, no, you're getting out, or just laying down and taking it. Pennsylvania versus Mims allows you to pull them out of the car if you didn't know that. So if they refuse to get out of the car, now they're under arrest, and now you can use the force necessary to compel compliance. If that means breaking a window, if that means, you know, doing whatever you got to do. That's all agency policy, though. on how you would affect that arrest. So don't let me write policy for you. I don't want you playing your I don't want you playing a YouTube video in your IA saying Darian on the American Truck Simulator told me this is how I was supposed to do it. But know what you got. Know what you can and can't do. That's probably the biggest thing they will teach you in the academy, because they're not going to teach you policy. You know, they're not gonna teach you how to pit a car. They don't do that. You may do pit training for funsies, but they're gonna teach you how to shoot a gun. They're gonna teach you how to drive a car in stressful situations at high and low speeds. They're gonna teach you those basics, the basic law enforcement academy. So if I was gonna recommend study tips, we'll say, that's where I would start with. That's the route that I would go, is looking more into the case law side of things and kind of building a knowledge base on that. Now, one of the other things I'll say is that picking the right academy is also really important. So look in your area, know what academy is the best. Some academies are more physically driven, some academies are more academy driven, or academic driven, I should say. Know kind of where you want to go, what you want to do, and it's hard to know that. A lot of that isn't super public. What I would recommend, or what I did, was I interned for a very small police department for about 6 months. And during that 6 months, one of the things I did was I spoke to one of the lieutenants over there recruiting and asked him, you know, hey, what academies are the best based off of what standard? And he explained to me which ones were more physically driven, which ones were more academically driven. And I used that information to decide which academy that I went to. I went to kind of the middle ground one that was kind of more balanced, because although the academic side is very important and it will keep you out of trouble, the physical side is also very important as well. And even more so at that time, I was trying to lose weight, and that was just something I wanted to challenge myself. I wasn't trying to shy away from anything. So that type of information, like I said, isn't super public that I've seen. So that's going to be one of those things that you gotta, you know, ask around. You know, one of the biggest things I've seen is people go into it blind, and they didn't do any research. They don't know why they picked that academy. They don't know why they picked that agency, or they only picked that agency because it's, you know, it's where they grew up their whole life. And I mean, I get that, you know, that's not, but where I grew up is 4 hours away, and I would never work for that agency, not because it's not a good agency. Man, if I worked for the agency where I grew up, I'd actually make more than I do now, because that city is a very well-off area with a high population. And if you guys don't know, I grew up in South Florida, but I didn't want to work where I grew up. That was a personal decision. But you got to do what works best for you, and look more into just pay. Don't be so blinded by numbers. But yeah, guys, I mean, so I know that I probably can't answer all of the questions that you guys have, But I am willing. If you guys have questions that you want that maybe I didn't, that maybe I didn't answer, hit me up. Send me a private message. Send me a post a comment on this video, and I'll try and answer it to the best that I can. Just know things like, what agency do you work for, things like that, I won't answer. Some people know, some people don't, and that's all it is. That's how I'm gonna leave it. Once you say what agency you work for, that becomes connected to you, and I really don't want that, right? Like, whether or not people find out where I work is one thing, but to publicly advertise it is a completely different thing. I will never publicly advertise what agency I work for, because then the things I say it'll be one of those, I have to clarify that my opinions are my own, and I don't want to have to do that. I like this being my thing, my personal opinions, and this is just me, right? I don't advertise the agency, I don't advertise my full name, I don't, in no way do I want this to be connected to my real life work. I'll talk about the things that I do, maybe not specifics, but just in general. But you won't hear me. Jeez, that was loud. You won't hear me ever say what agency I work for. And honestly, guys, if you're coming into it, I would recommend you do the same. Keep it private. Keep it to yourself. Not everybody needs to know everything about your life. That's a really big one. And looks like we are here. Got a bunch of containers here, so I'm gonna guess this is the right place. It looks like it wants us to go to the left, so we're gonna try and get left over here. I think this is gonna be perfect. I think we're gonna pull straight in here. Stop real quick, make sure we don't hit any cross traffic here in the ports, and I think we should be able to just knock this out right here. But yeah, guys, like I was saying, if you guys have any questions, if you guys want anything clarified, maybe something I didn't answer but you really want to know, just because you're interested. I can't see the lines, and the problem is the lines are very picky. And look at that. Excellent. Did we do any damage to the... No damage. Look at that. It's going to be an excellent job. Like I said, if you guys have any questions, make sure you pop them down in the comment section below the video, and I'll try to answer anything I can. But like I said, guys, stay safe, stay healthy. And if you guys have any questions for me, even away from this video, make sure you pop it down in the comment section, send me a message on Discord, anything like that. Make sure you guys open the description, join the personal Discord. I am trying to kind of get back into the swing of things. I'm sure you guys have enjoyed the videos. I don't know how consistent I can keep them, but I'm going to try to keep them at least coming to a certain degree. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. As always, this has been your boy Darren, and I will see you all next time. Oh.